So welcome everyone who is joining in from the live stream and here today in our Zoom. Before we get started with our resume review session today, I want to take a moment to just do a brief intro to Tech by Choice to share a little bit more about the community that we're hanging out with today. So Tech by Choice is a nonprofit that we started 4 years ago, officially in December. We turned 4, and we're here to help make sure that tech is more diverse, that you could figure out how to make those big tech checks in a space that doesn't require you to code switch, which is, I think, pretty cool. So if you're enjoying this event and you want to learn more about us, definitely check out our website. I'm going to go ahead and drop that info into the chat. And we do have a membership that you can join. You'll get access to our Slack, some of our free events, and things like that. And so if you would like to do that, just go ahead and head over to our membership page and hit the join today, fill out this form, and you'll get access to that. We have some really cool stuff that's going to be launching at the end of this month. We have a new membership platform that will give you access to our mentors, so you can schedule time and meet with them. You'll see job posts because we have a job board and some other really cool fun stuff down the pipeline. So that's a little bit about the community. For today's session, we're going to be focused on making sure people feel confident about the job hunt, because it's not easy. So we will be reviewing resumes, LinkedIn posts, and all of that good stuff. So to get us started, if you have something you would like us to review, go ahead and raise your hand in Zoom, and that will be the order that we go in, and we'll go ahead and get started. Okay. So, all right, I see one hand raised, and again, if you need some help getting to the hand raise thing, it's that reaction button at the bottom of your screen, the little smiley face. Go ahead and press that. At the bottom, you'll see raise hand, and we will get started. All right. So I see the first person is up there. I do not know how to pronounce your name. Do you mind sharing how to do that for me?
It's pronounced Ornella.
Ornella. Okay, perfect. Thank you for sharing that. Ornella, do you have a link to what you would like us to review today?
No. Can I share my screen or like email my resume to someone?
Yes. I'm gonna go ahead and drop my email in the chat. Or actually, let me see if I can just let you. No, I think email will be better.
Okay.
Okay, so that's my email. If you can go ahead and send it to me, I will pull that up in the chat. Pull that up and then share screen and we'll walk through it.
All right. Sounds good.
And then anyone else who has anything that they would like us to review, go ahead and you can drop that into the chat. Or if you need to email me, you can go ahead and do that as well. And while we're getting that up and running, would love to know what part of the tech journey are you on? You could feel free to drop that answer into the chat. I think one of the really cool things about this session is being able to connect with others who are on the same or similar path as you. So if you're just getting out of boot camp, maybe you're in school, let us know. If you are transitioning from one career to another, let us know. Or maybe you're pretty senior and you're trying to go from an IC role to a leadership role. That is also really cool. Let us know that.
All right, I just sent it to your email. Let me know if you received it.
I did. It's awesome.
Okay. Would you like me to tell you a little bit more about myself?
Yeah, actually, if you could tell me a little bit more about yourself and tell me what type of feedback you're looking for. so we can know like what your goals are and make sure we're giving you feedback that match what you need.
Perfect. So currently I'm a second year graduate student at UC Berkeley. So I'm graduating next spring, and I'm getting my master's of information management and systems. My career focus is product management, and my research has been focused around hate speech and misinformation online. Like, how might we design more proactive solutions to those types of issues in the virtual space? And so I would like to be a product manager for trust and safety teams, or like trust and safety adjacent teams. For my resume, I have two things that I want feedback from, but if there's anything else that like y'all are thinking I need to change or do more of, just let me know. So the first thing is, I've been getting mixed signals about like having the professional profile section. Some have said that it's not necessary, that like whatever I'm saying in that section you should be able to see it on my resume. Others have said it's okay to keep, because if I'm going into a very niche sector, so trust and safety, so it's important to kind of like showcase my passion in that area. An alternative was to remove the professional profile section, and like remove it and replace it with like a project section to talk about like some of the projects I've done. However, I have a website portfolio that basically does all of that, that talks about the projects and like my processes. So yeah, that's the first thing. Like, is the professional profile necessary? Is it hurting my resume? And then also aesthetic wise, some people have told me to use kind of more of like the traditional format, but I think that's kind of boring and it doesn't showcase my personality. I like working with designers a lot, and I just like things to look pretty, and I also want that to showcase on my resume. But yeah, this is the resume I've been using to apply for lots of roles. I haven't received any callbacks yet or any interviews. So I know there's something wrong. I just don't know what it is. So any honest feedback would be much appreciated.
Yeah. For one, I think that was a good, really great summary. But just to make sure that I'm on track, you're looking to land a product manager role, but you want to focus on trust and safety. You're graduating, so you want to show like your skill sets that you've brought, you've been able to build over the years in school and whatnot, and professional building. You really want to be able to highlight your personality with having it look pretty and making sure that it's designed. But you have some questions about structure and the information and how you're showing it. Is that a good summary?
Yep, that was well said.
Awesome. All right. So how we do this is we give feedback in real time as we go. I will kick it off just to answer one of the questions you said about your professional profile. I always think those are really great to have because you're able to add in a lot of keywords that you can find on the job description, so you can get past the ATS, application tracking software. Yeah, ATS, I believe those are the letters. So I'd say keep it. I forget what most people call it, a professional profile. I think it's like professional summary or overview or something to that effect. I think it's perfectly fine. When I look at this though, the structure that seems a little off to me is that I get your education up front, and I also get some years here. So I always tell people, remove the years from when you're in school so you don't have people getting that like ageism bias or whatever they may project onto you because of that. And the other thing is, you want to push your education more towards the bottom. People want to know like your skills and these things. So if that was just your skill sets could take up this whole entire section, I think that'd be great. And then jump into your professional experience. Yeah. Any questions there?
Yeah, so about the education, so I'm kind of like early career slash mid career, like in between. So I was told that like if you're kind of starting off, you should put your education at the top, especially like you want people to know like UC Berkeley is like a well-known school, a like well-recognized school, and you want that to kind of catch people's attentions.
Yeah.
But you do make a good point though about ageism and bias, because a lot of the PM roles, like there aren't any early in career PM roles. A lot of it are asking like for 3 to 5 years of experience. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I think the biggest thing to me, is removing the years. Functionality, I mean, where it's set. I typically see it at the bottom. No big deal there. Okay. So jumping in.
Zoom is very informational. So that part would definitely have to be removed. So I know that.
Oh wait, sorry, I'm not seeing who's speaking on the way I have my Zooms set up. But I couldn't hear what you were saying. The last person who spoke. Sorry.
Kieran, did you have a question?
Oh, sorry. Meant to put this.
I don't think she meant for it to be heard.
Okay. Okay. Got it. All right. So, going on to the professional experience, I think you did a good job of stacking this visually, so it's easy to track. I think you have a good, like, this is what you did, and this is the impact of it, especially with this first one. I'm just scanning through this. Feel free if anyone else wants to chime in.
Yeah, I can chime in because you mentioned ATS, which is the enemy for anybody who likes to make aesthetic resumes whatsoever. Because I don't know, I don't really know the back end of ATS, but what I'm always been told is to make it as straightforward as possible. Some of the ones that I've seen just use the most basic typefaces and things of that sort. I know I'm not going to do that, so I'm not telling anybody else to do that. Like I'm not doing that. So I like that you've added this, kind of visual language. I love the kind of olive green you have here. The typefaces are really nice and they're used well. You have some nice hierarchy between things. One thing I would say might throw off the ATS is the 2 columns. So yeah, we have education skills. One thing we don't know, and what did you build this in, by the way, or design this in?
I use Canva.
Canva. So I'm not quite sure. Oh, but so when it comes to Canva, you have like text boxes, right? Text fields.
Yeah, let me see. Because you're asking if it's selectable.
Yeah. So I really hope that the ATS won't read University of California, Berkeley, production road mapping, research design, Master of Information Management System, market analysis, leadership. And there are some resources, I wish I had them on hand in my mind, where you can actually go and see how the ATS will read this. I'm gonna look for those during this time that we meet. So maybe I can offer those resources to you. But that's my only concern when it comes to using like columns. It's like, we really hope that it's not going to pick up, it's not going to like read across versus just reading as you intended it to be read.
That's a good point.
Yeah, great bit of feedback because I didn't know that. That's cool. So jumping into your experience, I think your experience is really solid. I like the way that you broke down that information. The one thing that I'm not quite following is the decision to make some things bold and some things not. I do see that like making this bold shows like your impact and things like that, but it seems like it's the beginning of a sentence, like the first couple of words, it's bolded. This 100% might just be a me thing because then I get stuck on like, wait, why is this bold and the rest isn't? Because I view this whole entire line to be important. But I do understand like when you're highlighting stats. So this is not something that's like make or break. It's just something that came to my mind that I wanted to share. I do see that like a lot of the things that you're starting to talk about would make me think trust and safety would be a good role for you because of some of the work that you've done in the past. I am actually not that familiar with trust and safety job roles. I know that someone who worked at GitHub, I'm connected with them and they were, I think the director or eng manager for trust and safety. I might be able to connect you with them and they can give you more insight on how to tailor your resume towards this. I have your email and I'm actually going to like follow up with you right afterwards to try to make that introduction so you can like be like as prepared as possible. But overall, I don't see anything here that I have any feedback for. I think it's pretty strong. And then additional experiences. Oh wait, really? Home baked goods delivery service specialized in catering for vouchers. Your business plans have traded up 6K and profits in one. Oh, congratulations! I really like this one. So I think that's a fun tidbit. I'm really into baked goods too, so I might be looking you up. So there's that.
Thank you.
I like your resume, to be honest, but I don't have product management experience, but I do work with product managers, and it seems like you do have the skills. Like even though as a CEO, as a Scrum Master, and balancing like what stakeholders have to do. I think if we're being very picky, like maybe in the first section where you're talking about ensuring cross-functional teams, maybe you talk about prioritization. You were doing the prioritization for the teams, but I think the question here is not really about the quality of your resume as so as like where you're applying to. So are you focusing specifically on trust and safety roles?
No, I've been applying to all sorts of product management roles.
Okay.
But I would like to work within trust and safety.
Yeah, then my suggestion for you is to create a resume that's focused on like trust and safety, so it has all of those keywords, and then to create another just like more generic one that's gonna like still have highlight your skill set for product management and all of those and all of those different things, but may not like key in so heavily on trust and safety.
Yeah. And I think maybe if you want, I could route you to some product managers who can give you better feedback than I can, because, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes, any help would be very helpful at this point, because like I said, I've been using this resume and I'm not getting any responses. So it could be the case of like an ATS issue And I'll look into the resource that I think Joyo had mentioned. And Valerie had asked about why did I bold some things. I wanted those keywords, so I have this book called Cracking the PM Interview, and they talk about like some keywords that you want to show in your resume. So like launched, product requirement document. So that's why they're bolded, but I feel like if it's already in the resume, it shouldn't really matter. So maybe bolding it isn't necessary, because I do agree with you, it's not consistent. And from like a visual, like a design or a visual point of view, it kind of creates some confusion.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that makes sense for keywords. But yeah. I don't even know how the ATS system handles like bolded if they do something different. I know.
I don't even understand the difference, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a to-do list to understand ATS systems.
Yeah, I can add me to that. I need to know. I need to know. It's like you send it out into this like unknown territory, and neither the recruiter or you really understand, how this thing is being processed. Well, I guess the recruiter would understand it, but I wanted to give you one more note here, just from an aesthetic standpoint. When it comes to just mapping your margins, you want to look towards the left, right, and bottom margin. You might want to free up a little more space. Imagine have you printed this out?
Yeah. Yes, I have. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, so it's very close to the bottom here, kind of close to the right, a little close to the left. You want to just find a way to kind of bring that in. I know it's a lot of text, and that might make you have to restructure some things around a little bit. But I think overall for the visual presentation, it'll really help people take in a lot of the visual choices that you're making, like the very detailed visual choices that you're making, giving them a little bit more space for them to, for the eye to read it.
Got it. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, everyone. This was very helpful.
No worries. Very happy that we can help. So that's cool.
Did you want us to look at, I'm being extra, and I don't know if we even have it. I just saw that you had a website up here. Valerie already knew what I was going to ask. Did you want us to look at that at all, or would you?
It's okay. I don't want to take up too much space, and I feel like portfolios for PMs are often kind of overlooked. So it's okay. I don't know any other PMs that have a portfolio. I just ended up having it because I took a class last semester where it was about like storytelling, and you had to have a portfolio regardless of your career focus. So it's all right, and I don't want to take up too much space.
If there is a space for you to take up space, this is it. Don't worry about that. But I'm going to pause here, and I do know that there have been a few people who have joined since we started this review session. So I want to just take a second and let folks know how they can get their stuff reviewed. So at the bottom of the Zoom screen, you do have that little reaction button. It's going to be the one with the smiley face with the plus. If you go ahead and hit that, you'll get the option to raise your hand. So if you go ahead and click that, you will put yourself in line to get your resume, your LinkedIn, your portfolio that would like to be reviewed. So if you have a portfolio you would like to review, please go ahead and raise your hand. I think someone had their hand raised earlier. I don't know if they are still here with us now. Are they? They are not. But yeah, does anyone have a portfolio that they would like to have reviewed? Go ahead and raise that hand. You can go ahead and drop the link to your resume, your LinkedIn, your portfolio into the chat, and we will go ahead and take a look at it and give feedback and make sure that you feel solid about your next steps. Or if you have any questions, because I know sometimes people like to come to these sessions and they have questions about the interview process. So feel free to raise your hand for questions or anything like that. All right. As people are preparing to show off their next thing and get some feedback, another really great thing about getting a job in tech is to be connected with people on LinkedIn. That is the main place that people go to find jobs in tech. You'll get connected to recruiters and things like that. So a part of this session that we started to do recently is to have people drop their LinkedIns into the chat and have connect with each other. Because when we start to post about jobs that they're looking for and other things like that, that is a great way for us to make sure we're staying up to date with the latest and greatest that tech has to offer. The other thing that I would like to throw out there as an opportunity to market a little bit is to definitely check out Tech by Choice. Become a member. We do have a lot of people, especially like recruiters and hiring managers, that are in our Slack group that post about job openings, and you get to talk to them directly in our Slack, and that gives you a little bit of a leg up with getting in and getting at least that first phone screening and getting into the interview process. So that's really great. On top of that, we have a lot of other resources that go around inside of our Slack. So if you haven't joined today, you definitely want to go ahead and check out that link that I just shared, and that will get you access to our community. All right, so last call. Does anyone have a portfolio they would like us to review? Hope? Do you? Jojo? Andre?
Just want to say hi, everybody. No, I do not have one at the moment.
All
I
right.
think I don't want to pronounce her name wrong, but she was maybe she's not here anymore. Her
Yeah.
name? Okay.
Started with a P, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They are no longer within the Zoom. But okay. Does anyone else have any questions about the interview process? Anything that we can help with?
I can update on the next meeting, which I believe is on February 4th. I need to set up and get mine set up, but I have started sending out applications, and I'm using AngelList, which just changed their name to All Founder, whatever, and I'm going to be finding the roles on AngelList, and then following the hiring manager or the CEO or CTO back to LinkedIn, and then messaging them from there.
Oh,
Is that a good strategy?
I think it is. I think a lot of people will try to reach out to people, say like for me, when I'm looking for a role, especially as a dev, I would look to see who are other devs that are on the team that are on LinkedIn. I would send out messages to them saying like, hey, I saw this job, I looked at your resume, it seemed very similar to mine. Would you mind if doing a Zoom chat, sending them a Calendly link, and just say that you wanted to learn a little bit more about the company before you apply, and just learn about their experience as well. People love to talk about themselves, so sending out that message, you're more likely to get someone to respond to you. When it gets to like C-level directors, they may not have that much time because they're in more meetings. But if you reach out to a PM or a designer or something like that, that's more close to the role that you're looking for, they're more likely to respond. Chat with them, ask them about their experience, ask them what it's like working there, ask about the company culture. And by the end of it, if the conversation went well, ask them if they would be open to like sending you a referral link, because by then you get some like buy-in, they get to know you, you get to know them, and then that referral link can sometimes help you get that first phone screening faster.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question about that because I tried to reach out, set up a one-on-one with someone and hopefully get a referral at the end. But what happens is the person, because it's kind of hard to see who's active on LinkedIn. So the person doesn't respond, or by the time that they respond, the job position is not on the website anymore. Do you have any advice on that, or is it okay to like apply and then reach out to someone and then they can give you a referral so you can apply to the referral?
I think I say apply, like don't try to wait for the referral. See, most systems you can backtrack it. Recruiters don't like to do that all the time because it's extra steps for them. So if you can get it up front, that's great. If you can't, no big deal. I do think people take a long time to respond on LinkedIn, so I wouldn't like bet on that strategy, but still try it if you're in a position where you think like it might help. I think it works best for like the bigger tech companies like the Googles, the Facebooks, the Spotifys, because their interview process takes a bit longer and they typically have more roles open. So even if that role that you were applying to is closed for that one team, there's probably another one that's going to be opening up or already open that you can get that referral link for. For smaller startups, you kind of want to just apply and try to get in.
Thank you.
No worries. All right, it's Livestream on Twitter and just thought I would join. Well, welcome. We're very happy to see that our multimedia social media, whatever. Our social media strategy is working. if nothing else, that's a confirmation. But no, thank you for joining. We're at the tail end of our resume and portfolio review for today. I think we would have time for like one more that would be short and sweet and to the point. So if anyone has a portfolio or a resume that they would like us to review, please go ahead and raise your hand. This is last call. At this point, we wouldn't be able to take on any more reviews for this session. But if you don't have stuff ready, don't worry. We have this event each month. And so if you didn't make it this time, you could definitely make it next time. And the other thing that I wanted to share is this is just one of the many events that we have as a community. We do have our additional monthly events. So we do like to hang out in Zoom and Figma a lot. So our next event, it seems like, is going to be, this is not in a great order, but whatever. We have our TBC and Chill event. So it's a really great way for people to flex their skills, whether it's product design, meme making, or you're flexing your coding skills. So we hang out in either a Figma file or a code sandbox, and we build out stuff together for our Dev and Chill. Sometimes they're memes with code, funny like little programs. And we do that together. We hang out on Twitter. We've been using GTP3 and showing people how you can code with AI to be a better developer and things like that. We have our product design event where we hang out in a Figma file, design a product. Sometimes it's real and sometimes it is a Uber for spaceships for rich people. So technically not products that would go live, but you still go through the process and you learn how to do all of these things. And then the Figma and Chill one is super cool. Love that one. we're able to just like make really fun memes and hang out with each other and learn how to use Figma in a super chill way. So those are the events that we run monthly, so catch us there. Make sure you join our Slack so you can continue the conversation. We do have a job hunting channel, so if you're going through and getting ready to prep for an interview, you don't have time to wait for the next event that we have next month. Join the Slack, ask those questions. We have a lot of people in there that can support you. I see we do have hands raised, so go ahead and go to Joyo.
If Darnell has something to present, let's prioritize that. But I did send you my resume. It's not all the way up to date, and I added some of the educational experience that I recently had teaching visual design, and I was just wondering how I could position that. But I want to see what Darnell has to, if he has anything. Also, Darnell, how did you get that black hand? Because I don't know what's going on. I want you. All right, you go ahead.
I think I just I clicked reactions, and then it's like the 3 dots next to the thing, the party celebration thing, and then skin tone is at the bottom, so you can like click it and change it.
Love it. Learning together.
I wanted to ask if it was okay if you wanted to like take a look at my portfolio site and check out my resume as well. It's like I've made some like some changes to it, but I think it's still a work in progress. But I would like to get feedback from it for now, if that's okay.
That is more than okay. That is 100% doable. So, do you mind sharing how you sent it?
I will drop it in the chat.
Awesome. And then Joyo, I'll definitely get to yours too, okay?
Quick question. Are there also events for mock interviews?
No events for mock interviews, but this is something that we can get started. We're always trying to just provide more for the community. So if you ask, give us enough time, we can make it happen.
Cool. Great. Thanks.
You're welcome. All right. So we have a portfolio to review. Love this. Okay. Let's see. So, we're gonna go ahead and just like go through the site and give feedback. But before I do that, I want to do some grounding. Would love to know what type of feedback are you looking for, and what part of like, how do I ask this question? What type of feedback are you looking for? I don't know why I'm trying to be so difficult. That's the question. And that's for Darnell, sorry.
Constructive and critical feedback. Like the most honest feedback that I can receive. Like
you want good feedback, yes.
Yeah.
Are you looking for feedback around the design, the layout? Do you want feedback from like maybe your case studies or project brief pages? Is there anything in particular that you're looking for?
More so about like the design and the responsiveness.
Mm-hmm.
I know my portfolio, other projects needs to be better. So, and also like my resume.
Okay. Well, first off, I do like how you have the clouds as the background for your nav bar and the move. I don't know how Joyo will feel about that. He is more design savvy than I am. I just like things that are pretty and surprise me, so there's that. But looking at your resume, I do like the color scheme. I do think that the nav bar, oh my god, it's changing. Sorry, just realized that. Like you have a gradient and it's moving.
Yeah, I made it like slightly trippy a little bit. Like even my image is like slowly moving.
Oh my god, it is. Julia, I have to know your feedback on this one because I am amazed.
I really like the color palette, and I like a lot of what you're using. I wish it was more minimal in a way. You have some minimal elements like that dot background. I really like, but it's like a lot of different cool tricks they're not, which is good. They're not necessarily competing with me being able to navigate the website, which is great. Because usually when people try to apply a lot of different cool tricks, it just gets in the way of functionality. So that's not necessarily what's happening here. But you know, it is. I don't know. I might get distracted by one thing and miss another thing. There might be tricks that we haven't even picked up yet that you've applied here. Like I just like pretty much. I'm just now seeing that image move a little bit, which is actually pretty cool. But also just from a design standpoint, or not even just a design standpoint, but from a color palette, I think it might be enhanced if you do add let the color, even though it's not technically a color, but if you let white show through in some way, like imagine that gradient moving against or over a white background of some sort, I think that would kind of make it feel more like a, I guess, traditional website. This feels more on the dare I say like Tumblr end of things. And let me know, because I haven't been on Tumblr in years. So let me know if that is, something that anyone else is picking up though. But overall, like I really like the different things that you're bringing in here. Oh, and one note I will say on responsiveness, and you can always do this in I think it has to be like a Chromium built browser. Just if you go to the inspect, you can look at it in different dimensions or in different you can look at the different breakpoints in your website. And what I'm seeing here is once I go to like iPad, and when I say iPad, not I think it's like vertical iPad, not horizontal. Yeah, if you just go down to the responsive side, it's right over the website.
Are you talking to me?
Uh-huh.
Oh, shoot. What did you say? What was the words that you used?
It's right. It's if you see responsive at the top and you click that down arrow, yeah, you can go to like iPad Air, or something like that. And then if you look at the nav, what you might want to do.
This is why I don't live code. This is exactly why I instantly get nervous and turn into the dumb thumbs from. I don't know how to do this. I am so sorry.
Can you go back? Just go back to the regular. Okay, basically, this is what I'm just trying to say about the nav. The buttons kind of the gradient kind of becomes one thing, but it's still a part. Like you can. I don't know how to describe what I'm seeing, but I don't think it's the desired effect that you're trying to get to. But overall, I'm still kind of I pulled up the site myself, and I'm still kind of going through the stuff. But what do you think so far? Is any of that helpful?
Yeah, I agree.
Can I also add?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yes.
So I agree with Joyo. I guess like from like an accessibility point of view, there could be too much going on. So something I would do is make the background more solid, like a solid background, so a solid color. And then I will also choose like bigger fonts for the sentences that says your name, because you want that to stand out. And in doing so, then you can actually then add more white. Going back to Joe's comment, then you can add more white to the screen, and you'll still have like the the nice tricks that you have by like the moving images. But yeah, that's just like some of my point of view.
Yeah, I really appreciate the background because I coded that. That's all in code. It's
What?
not like an image. I created the polka dots against the background.
That is amazing. I don't know if Hope is still with us, but he is someone who would thoroughly enjoy that. Just to let you know. So we appreciate that a lot.
I think that's really cool. And this is coming from someone who probably has no idea what it took to do that. But I think that's really cool.
Yeah, but I agree to add a little bit more white space, I guess, to like break things up. Yeah, that makes more sense to make it bigger.
You could experiment with things too, right? So let's say I like the dot pattern. Perhaps it has a little too much contrast with the dark blue behind it. You know, maybe it needs to be a little bit of a subtle thing that, you know, the dots themselves need to be a more subtle they need to have a more subtle relationship, you know, color wise with the background, which means that they can either be darker, or if you do, honestly, that aspect of the background is not too intruding. What I will say though, I will say what I'm a little more concerned about is probably the clouds. I know I haven't said anything about them, but I think that you might just want to rethink that. It using the cloud background maybe for the bottom seems a little more resolved, but images in general, when it comes to a background element, you just never know. I'm looking at it on my desktop right now. The image is losing a bit of resolution, and you never know. Someone might have a huge desktop setup, and you know something crazy can happen. Yeah, I would say if you're going to use that image, what you're doing at the bottom, where it's just like a solid image across, it's a lot more resolved than it being kind of a background for the navigation at the top. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
It kind of interferes with those buttons a little bit. I wanted to hear what you guys have to say about some of the portfolio projects. Those are kind of cool.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and make the transition to that. The only other thing I would have to say for this page is I think as far as content goes, this is really strong. It gets straight to the point. I get to see like who you are and what your focus is. The only thing I would add here is saying that you're open for work, just to let people know like, hey, this is how you can, say, hey, like I'm looking for work, this is what's going on. And I love the fact that you have like the contact buttons as an easy way for people to get in touch with you. With like these really smooth interactions that we're seeing here, I would have thought like the hover state would have told me something. And that's just another way to help people understand that these items are clickable. I do see you have the cursor change, which is great, but just adding that additional touch would be good. I see you have it for your nav bar, so those additions would be really, really cool. Okay, so about is solid, just some text. I get to know a little bit more about you. I think that's really good. And then looking at your portfolio, this is definitely giving me like Tumblr, MySpace vibes. And I see where this came from now. Initially thinking about the UX of this, I get to this page. Let me do a refresh because I know. Okay, yeah, the load state's cool. So I get to this page. I understand I can't look at your portfolio, and I see that this is your more recent projects. But then I get to again like this MySpacey, Tumblr-ish vibe. that I get here. I don't get any anchors, no headings, no hierarchy to understand like what are these images, these GIFs that I'm looking at. I don't have a really great understanding of what this project is, what these projects are, how they relate, how long ago you did it, what was your role in this project. I get none of that information that pushes me to click to learn more. So some solutions that I could see happening here is to kind of create like mini cards for your projects to get people interested. I love the GIFs, definitely keep those. But if you had a header or a title of the project, saying your role in the project, and maybe like a one-liner about the project, and a button to say like learn more or view project or something to take someone to that page, I think that would make this stronger, and you're able to tell your story a little bit more here. And again, just making those cards for each one of your project would be really cool. But if I do click this, I'm taken to the actual project. Okay, I think that's good. So when you do create those cards, that button, that action item is like view project now. If I would suggest like also having a button to take people to your GitHub and having a really solid README in your GitHub so people can understand the tech stack that you use, whatever other cool stuff that they could learn about your project and things like that. But that is something that I would suggest for your project cards. Okay. Any questions about that page?
No, that was solid. Thank you.
You're welcome. And then let me just see your contact page. I think this is good. I do like you still have those borders there, so I think that's cool. But I do think that there's this overlap with the overlay that you have, because I see it on some of the border but not all of it. That's a tech thing, very slight, not something that would be make or break, just something that I notice. I think that's good. And for the last step, let's go ahead and take a look at your resume. Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah. I really like your resume. Strong branding. A part of me wishes that your website matched this branding. Because it's a nice little surprise, and I like the way that the text is working. I like the way that it's just like laid out. I think it's really great. I think looking at the layout, what you talked about, Jojo, about keeping things like in a straight line and not having columns, I think it's pretty strong. Like the profile and skills may be a little off, but that's okay. So yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah, the type that you're using here, or in the typographic relationship, is feels a lot more resolved than on the website, I would say. But I also understand, this is a monospace. What you're using for like the body copy, seeking a challenge, it's like a monospace type of font. So it can kind of get a little old over time, and it might be a little on the nose when it comes to coding. I don't know what you guys would think from your perspective of it. Maybe you love looking at it all the time. Maybe that's just what you guys just dream about at night. I don't know. But what I really like though is the typeface that display face at the top for your name.
Yeah.
Really nice. Yeah. There's a lot of presence in that, and I think you should incorporate that on your homepage too, so that everybody knows your name.
Yes. Overall, I think the way that you're breaking down your skills is really solid. Public speaking is a great thing to have there. I like the way that you did your profile, your experience. I think that's set up really well. Requirements. I'm looking at the different things that you're able to knock out. I like the fact that you have some impact and like number wise. So I think that's cool. Coming with a team of developers. Showing that you know how to work in an agile space. If any of these are startups, I would also throw that in there. Maybe you have that in your no. So one thing that I've noticed that recruiters will tend to look at is like, will they work well in this environment? And then sometimes it's like, can they work in a startup? Do they understand what that means? And like the stressors of that. So if you do have that experience, I like to share with people. Adding that somewhere in your resume will help you stand out in the startup crowd. So that is a good thing to keep note of. Nonprofit work, okay, that's cool. And yeah. Finance. Overall, really strong resume. Really strong resume. Again, love the design of this. I actually don't have much feedback for this outside of throwing in like the startup environment type stuff, and that's it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Awesome. Do you happen to have any questions for us about any of the feedback or anything that we may not have covered?
No, not today. I think I took notes down, and I'm going to work on implementing all these changes again. So I really appreciate all the feedback that I received from everyone. It was really helpful.
No worries. Very happy that we can help. Again, I think Jojo, you want to do yours a different time, or you still want to go with us?
I'm gonna add those details first. Well, since I'm gonna add the details, I guess. No, I'll do it another time. Yeah, we're good.
No worries. And again, the really cool thing about this is, yes, we do this monthly, and we have our other events that you can RSVP for and to be a part of the community. But we also, again, our Slack community, we do have a space, a channel dedicated just to answering questions. And the same way that we jump in and we do these resume reviews and portfolio reviews, like people get that feedback throughout in our Slack at any given time. We just dedicated one day a month so that everyone can join and just be a part of the conversation, even if they're not in our Slack group. So if you want to make updates and want to get feedback and want to see what it's like after this session and just make sure that you're heading in the right direction, make sure you join the Tech by Choice community by filling out this form. You'll get emailed a link to join our Slack. If you don't get an email, a link, don't worry. We got you. We will send that out and make sure you get access to the Slack. But the best way to get in is to fill out this form and join our community. Awesome. So we're at the end of our review session for this month. I think we saw some really great portfolios, some great resumes, and we had a lot of feedback. So even if you didn't or weren't ready to show off your stuff, it's okay. I hope that what we talked about with others was enough to help you feel more confident and to knock out some stuff on what you already have. Trying to think of how to close this out. I don't know. Yes, Andre?
Darnell, your resume is fantastic. I love the design. Did I steal the design? Jeez, this is a beautiful resume.
Spoken like a true developer. Wants to copy and paste everything and turn it in as their own. Look at that. Look at that. No, this is really great. I hope that this has been helpful. Please feel free to join our other events. We have a lot of fun. I feel like this is more of a polished TBC or Tech by Choice event. We definitely have more chill, more relaxed events, but we just want to make sure that people feel confident in what they're hearing and confident in what they do in the job hunt, job search. So again, thank you for joining. Thank you for being a part of the Tech by Choice community. Give us a follow on our socials, the Twitters, the IGs, the LinkedIn. We are Tech by Choice org on all of the different platforms. For those of you who are tuning in through our live stream, thank you for hanging out with us. Saw the comments, saw the love. So thank you. All right, and that